Two fences only for the second round of the Miller and Wallace Puissance jumping competition. Obstacle number 1 is an optional obstacle. The competitors may jump it if they so desire. However, if they were to fault at it, it would not count. The course does not commence until they go through the starting line just in front of obstacle number 2. Course finishes after they negotiate obstacle number 3. Gray Ole and Kevin Burke first to go. Jumps the optional obstacle, now on course. He's gone through the start safely over the first fence that counts. A very big, high and widespread obstacle to the straight fence, obstacle number 3. And safely over the wall, great round from Gray Ole and Kevin Burke. The next to go, Weekender, written by Greg Burrell. Also jumps the optional obstacle. Going to look close to obstacle number 2. Jumped it safely. And safely over the big wall. A good round, a clear round to Weekender and Greg Burrell. And so already 2 horses have gone in the second round. Both horses have gone clear. So that means we have yet another round. The next to go will be Burr Valley, ridden by Les Bunning. Also jumping the optional obstacle and a refusal at the first obstacle that counted, so that's 3 penalties. Approaches it the second time, jumps it safely, so a little bit of bad luck for Les Bunning. Comes into the big wall. Ooh, the valley went high in the air. A second refusal, that's another 6 penalties. Les almost in trouble, and he didn't go through the finish. Has the wall down, really spread eagled the wall everywhere, and has decided to retire. And let's have a look at that in replay. Comes in. The valley went high in the air, bounded just on the approach to the fence. Gets right up on top. Les is in all sorts of bothers. Both hands went high. He dives for the reins. The brick wall comes tumbling down and just avoided the finish line and decided to retire. The wall has been rebuilt and everything's ready now for our next competitor, Marumba and Robbie Allen. Very unnerving to be sitting out at the marshalling area and hear somebody have a near miss and knowing that you're next in. Robbie also going to jump the optional obstacle. Is now on course, safely over the big spread. 1.82 metres in height, 1.52 in width. The wall, 1.93 in height, and he's got it. He's clear, Marumba and Robbie Allen. So 3 horses now clear in the second round of the Miller and Wallace Puissance jumping competition. So here's hoping if we can get enough horses clear in this round, we may see an attempt at the Australian indoor height record. The height record, 2.082 metres, so we're not far from it already in this round. The next to go is a former co-holder of the indoor height record for show jumping, Wellington and David Brydoak. Now that's the optional obstacle, it doesn't count. Safely over the first fence that counts, now to this very big imitation wall. And Wellington's got it too. Through the finish, a good round from Wellington and David Brydoak. 4 horses now clear. Next to go, Stephen Guthrie and Burren Juck, just having a last look around the course. Settles Burren Juck down. Doesn't really matter how long rider takes to jump these two obstacles. From the moment the judge's bell sounds, they have time to go through the start, but it's quite adequate. Over the optional obstacle, through the start and on course, over the spread. Approaches the wall. And safely over the wall. This is magnificent jumping from these great horses. That's 5 horses now clear in the second round. The next to go are Jedburgh Castle and Marcus Hall. Marcus doesn't choose to jump the optional obstacle, goes straight on course, and whoa, look at that fence rock. And the wall is down, Marcus is in trouble. And I think he copped one in the nose, but he's okay, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage. Probably the youngest competitor in the event, and that takes a lot of courage indeed. Coming into the wall, the stride looked pretty good. Oh, he took off a long way from it. And Jedburgh Castle hit it with almost with the shoulder. And Marcus very lucky to get out of that without some real problem. Now, coming in head on, takes off as we saw too far away from it, really hit the top of the wall hard. Marcus goes onto the horse's neck, almost got back in the saddle, and then at the last minute dropped down onto his feet after copping a nasty one in the nose with the horse's neck. The next to go is isometric, Stephen Wills.
Yeah.
Stephen, a former top junior, member of the Victorian Junior Show Jumping Championship a couple of years ago, and also the Victorian Junior Country Show Jumping Championships. Jumps the optional obstacle, now safely over the very big high and wide spread. Goes right up to the top of the international arena, giving isometric every chance, comes into the wall, and he's got it also. What magnificent show jumping. The next to go, Ross Moore and Les Bunny. Les didn't take the opportunity of jumping the optional obstacle straight into action. Clear over the spread, comes into the straight, and a refusal. And Les, realising 6 horses already clear, only 6 placings in the competition, has decided to retire. For the third round of the competition, the wall has been set at 2.082 metres, 6 feet 10 inches, and that is equal to the Australian indoor height record for show jumping. So if any of these horses can jump this wall clear, they become equal holders of the Australian indoor height record. A really enormous wall. 6 great horses to attempt to equal the Australian indoor height record. First to go, Grey Orlais, Kevin Burke. 2 fences, obstacles 2 and 3, and obstacle number 1. Kevin's going to jump the optional obstacle number 1. No penalty had he have faulted at that fence over the big triple bar. Now the real test. Will equal the Australian indoor height record if he can jump it. Comes in, measures the stride well, and yes! He's got it! Magnificent! Oh, great show jumping from Grey Orlais and Kevin Burke, and that's equal to the Australian indoor height record for show jumping. And the crowd going wild. That was really sensational. The next to go, a Weekender and Greg Urell. So what a great start to round 3 of the Miller and Wallace Puissance jumping competition. Greg and Weekender just circling around the arena. Greg just settling the horse down a little bit in readiness. Not going to jump the optional obstacle, going straight onto course. The big spread still at 1.82 metres high, 1.524 metres wide, into this big wall. Over 2 metres in height, Weekender's refused. Now, when a horse refuses at a wall of that size, that doesn't do their confidence any good at all. In he comes for the second attempt. Comes in and he's got it down. A great try from Weekender and Greg Urell. 7 jumping penalties in the third round. Came in and hit it with his knees about the second brick down. But still a really great try from the front. Comes in, you can just see Weekender's ears on the approach to the wall, hits the wall low down. And Greg a little bit lucky not to topple over. The next to go, Marumba and Robbie Allen. Takes off his cap, salutes the judge. The judge's bell sounds, and you can tell. As soon as the judge's bell sounds, these horses know, and as you saw then, Marumba went straight into action. Robbie circling the arena, giving Marumba an opportunity to feel the surface, get used to the lights. He's going to jump the optional obstacle, safely over the optional fence, clear over the first fence that counts. To this enormous wall, comes in, coming in a little bit sideways. Get up, he cries, but he's got it down. One hand went up, just took the top off the wall, but a great try from Marumba and Robbie Allen. 4 jumping penalties. And at this stage, he's gone into second placing. Robbie, mouth open, giving Marumba a bit of vocal encouragement. Disappeared completely behind the wall as he came in. Just took the top off it. Robbie went high in the air, arm up, came down almost round the horse's neck, but was able to get his balance and complete the course. From side on, in he comes, took off a long way from it. Marumba really trying hard to get over the big wall. The bell sounds for the next competitor, Wellington, David Brido, a horse that once was equal holder of the height record. David into action very quickly. Had the optional fence down, but he did that in the previous round also. Over the spread. Into the wall, 2.082 metres in height. Comes in and, oh, a great try from Wellington, but just took the top off. So, Wellington and David Brido also finished with 4 jumping penalties. And at this stage, that's equal second placing. Comes in, takes off a long way from it, hit it with his near knee. The next competitor, Burrinjuck and Stephen Guthrie. Stephen jumps the optional obstacle, safely over the first fence that counts. Now this really big wall, turns the corner, comes in, approaches the wall, and he's got it, he's over. Magnificent leap from Burrinjuck. Well, we've got 2 horses clear. Stephen very pleased, patting Burrinjuck on the neck as he leaves the arena, and that's a really great round. The all clear from John Valance, our assistant course designer. The judge's bell sounds for Stephen Wilkes. Circles round on the approach to the optional obstacle. Safely over number 1. Now the first of the 2 fences that count over the big spread. Turns right up the top of the arena. Approaches the wall. In he comes, measures the stride, and isometrics refused. A little bit wrong stride coming in, and a refusal. Stephen gives him a tap with the whip just to let him know that wasn't the right thing to do. Comes in the second time, and another refusal. And isometric will have lost confidence. Yes, Stephen's realised that. Takes his cap off and retires. A bad luck for isometric and Stephen Wilkes. Once a horse gets into trouble at a fence that size, very, very seldom will they have another attempt at it. So at the completion of the third round, what a thriller. 2 horses still eligible to go on. The wall will be increased in size, and if they jump it, a new Australian indoor height record for show jumping will be set. Right, for the 4th round of the Miller & Wallace Puissance, the wall has now been raised to a new Australian indoor height record for show jumping of 2.134 metres, 7 feet. And if either of these 2 wonderful horses can jump it, they will be the new holders of the Australian indoor height record. The first to go, Gray Olay and Kevin Burke. And our sponsors have put up an additional $150 each to these 2 competitors for attempting to break the record. Now, tremendous concentration, and everybody here will remain perfectly still and quiet so they don't break the concentration of either horse and rider. Railway, Kevin Burke. The optional obstacle he's going to attempt. It won't matter if he has it down. Now the big spread. In he comes. Safely over the spread. Now attempting a new Australian indoor height record. In he comes. And oh, what a gallant attempt. What a great try from Railway and Kevin Burke. Only just failed. And the crowd really going wild. That was sensational. Kevin Burke absolutely delighted. A really great try from this great horse. Now, in replay, Kevin coming in, everything looks pretty good. Grey Olay disappears behind the wall and only just took the top brick. A really great attempt. Kevin looks over his shoulder, but it's down from side on. In he comes, measuring the stride well, takes off. He's well away from it and just touched it with his front hooves. Stomach goes over the top and just took the coping and the first brick down, but a really great attempt.
Ready.
The walls have been rebuilt, and next to go, Burrinjuck and Stephen Guthrie. Stephen just cantering around the arena. He's going to jump the optional obstacle, jumps it safely. Now on the course, over the spread, going up to the far wall, approaches this big wall, attempting an Australian record. Hey, he's got it! Whoa! Magnificent! Oh, what a fabulous round from Burrinjuck and Stephen Guthrie. A new Australian indoor height record for show jumping, 2.134 metres. Stephen Guthrie absolutely delighted. Wonderful show jumping. Everybody clapping. The arena stewards, everybody thrilled to bits. Now, let's have a look at it in slow motion. In he comes, Burrinjuck, measuring the stride well. Stephen riding on, takes off, getting his front feet right up over the top of the wall. Stephen goes high, and over the wall he goes. A new Australian indoor height record for show jumping. Sensational jumping from head on. Burrinjuck almost disappeared completely behind the wall. And here he comes, up and over the top. And that's a long, long way down. A sensational jumping event. The Miller and Wallace Puissance jumping competition, brilliantly won by Burrinjuck, Stephen Guthrie, and creating a new Australian indoor height record for show jumping of 2.134 metres, 7 feet. The presentation to the winner of the Miller and Wallace Puissance jumping competition being made by Mrs. Lorna Wallace, and it goes to Burrinjuck and Stephen Guthrie. Have now set the new Australian indoor height record for show jumping. Second placing to Grey Olay and Kevin Burke from Oakville in New South Wales. Well, this concludes our coverage of show jumping from the International Arena at Upper Beaconsfield. Of course, climaxing with the magnificent effort of Burrinjuck in breaking the Australian height record for indoor show jumping. Graham Barker at the International Arena for ABC Sport.
Mm-hmm.